Good morning, nerds, and welcome to the Mobile Musings for Sunday, January 19th, 2025. It's another cold day here in northern Kentucky. At least it's not raining or snowing or doing whatever. It's just cold. Had a good day yesterday. Full day of work, and then got notification that the boys from Scouts were able to complete their Klondike Derby. Had a lot of fun doing it. So that's good. Yeah. Spent last night hanging out, watching football, and then watching the rest of season 2 of The Traitors. Such a great show. Then had a little time down in what I'm now calling the studio. I've been struggling to figure out what to call my basement space that's not really an office, not really a storage room. I used to call it the stream station because that's where I would stream my Twitch streams from, but now that I don't do that anymore, I'm just going to call it the studio. Because it's like a part art studio, part lounge. I don't know. But the studio. Spent some time down there last night doing a little bit of work. But yeah. Just had a pretty good night. Just hanging out. Being with the family. All 4 of us sitting down watching a show together. It's crazy. Something that we don't do a whole lot without like extra screens too. Like nobody was just sitting there messing with their phones or iPads or anything. We were all just sitting there watching the show together. It was really nice. We don't do that very often, and I think we're trying to poke that into the kids' brains that we should do this more often. Just hang out, be together. See how that goes, though. One thing I did in my studio last night was go through Pinterest instead of scrolling through like Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Just went through Pinterest and was just pinning ideas of things that I would like to make, things that I would like to remember, all that kind of thing. I was able to come across a lot of really good like things that I put on my self-improvement board. It was different quotes, different sayings, that kind of thing. One of them was talking about the 80-20 rule. And that's the one that kind of stuck the most with me. And it was saying that like health is 80% eating, 20% exercise. Wealth is 80% habits, 20% math. Happiness is 80% purpose, 20% fun. Achieving is 80% listening, 20% speaking. Talking is 80% listening, 20% speaking. Improvement is 80% persistence, 20% ideas. Learning is 80% understanding, 20% reading. That kind of thing. And it was saying that if you focus on the 80%, the 20% just happens. Like the 20% is the part that a lot of people associate the most with the aspect of whatever that you're trying to get. But the 80% is the hardest part. And it's the part that is the most important as well. Like the one that really stuck with me was the last one on the list. It was relationships are 80% giving and 20% receiving. You need to focus when you're focusing on your relationships, you don't want to focus on what the other person is giving you. You want to focus on what you can give to the other person. Because otherwise you're just being narcissist, you're being needy, all those kind of things. If you focus on your side of any relationship, the rest of the relationship will fall into place. Of course, you need to realize when some relationships are toxic and when you shouldn't prioritize the 80% that you put into it. But for the most part, if you would like to develop a relationship with somebody or with something or with whatever, you need to put in 80% of the work. The math kind of sucks on that, but if you want to develop the relationship, that's the way it needs to go, in my opinion. Does that mean that it'll always be that way? No. You put 80% of the work in to the giving half of that relationship to get that 20% back, but who knows, maybe that 20% will increase on that at some point. I don't know. Anyways, just focus on the part that's not directly related to the result, but indirectly. I don't know if I'm necessarily getting this point across the way that I want it to, but that's why these are musings and just kind of rambling every once in a while. I am going to get off of here. I'm going to get ready to start my work day and then start my weekend. You guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Be kind to one another. I'll check you guys again soon. Okay, love you. Bye.